We would like to request Kiran Bedi ma'am and Father George to please join us on the stage, please. A very good evening to one and all. Thank you for gracing us and coming to the MAXi Fair's inauguration ceremony. This is the 44th edition and the largest disguised research marketing event in the country. We are delighted to have amongst us our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Kiran Bedi, along with our guest, Father Director S. George, Dean of Academics, Dr. Sanjay Patro, Dean of Administration, Father Donald, Dr. Rahul Shukla, Dr. Giridhar sir, and esteemed faculty members from the marketing area. Welcoming media and of course the MAXi team. Without further ado, we would like to first light up the lamp to officially commemorate the inauguration of the 44th MAXi Fair. Requesting Dean Patro, Giridhar sir, the marketing chair for MAXi, Professor Sanjeev Varshney sir, Father Director S. George and Kiran Bedi ma'am to please light up the lamp. I take great pleasure in noting the fact that the MAXi Fair is a legacy that has been going on for the past 43 years and is being hosted for the 44th time on January 20th and 21st. XLRI became a pioneer in the field of disguised marketing research when Father Oswald conceptualized the research and Professor Sharad scaled it up to include the entire city of Jamshedpur in the format of MAXi Fair, also popularly known as the Jamshedpur's favorite Mela. Building on the legacy, MAXi Fair has stood the test of time, grown and constantly evolved with changing trends in the marketing and research department. And now to commemorate the 75th anniversary of our esteemed organization XLRI, we have decided to make the 44th MAXi Fair the biggest in the history of this committee. The concept of MAXi Fair is such unique that we get problem statement from the company and then we gamify the entire process to collect data points from the people of Jamshedpur. To attract the people of Jamshedpur, we are hosting for the first time ever 2 Bollywood concerts, namely Nakash Azeen, and on the day 2 we have Shan coming here to perform for the people of Jamshedpur. But at the core of MAXi Fair is research, and for the first time ever we have partnered with 8 research statements from the different departments like marketing, finance, and this is also for the first time that MAXi Fair has evolved their research and to include more people from the social research. We have collaborated with the Tata Steel Foundation and we'll be conducting a disguised research for Johar Haat as well this year. Multiple new things are being catered to MAXi Fair's inauguration and the 44th MAXi Fair. The team has taken the initiative to make the entire Maxi Fair a zero wastage event, wherein we'll be partnering with top NGOs and recycling the entire waste that is produced during Maxi Fair. Along with that, we are enabling a lot of new entrepreneurs from the city of Jamshedpur. We are giving them stall spaces. We are giving them an opportunity to come here and distribute their products so that they can also cater to the huge population of Jamshedpur that will be coming down for the 2 days of fair. This being the 75th year of XLRI, we have decided to have a marketing week starting today, leading up to the fair, where we will have informal marketing sessions in college, influencer meets, flash mobs, and a lot more during the rest 8 days of the fair. This fair on the 20th and 21st of January is going to be the biggest concert and the biggest event that has ever been seen by the city of Jamshedpur. And I'm proud to have everyone here who have supported and led up to building this event so successful. Thank you so much. Now I would like Father Director to please give a token of memento to Dr. Kiran Bedi. Okay. Along with that, okay. Sure. We had other things for you planned as well, ma'am. So we'll keep all of that archive for later. Now, without further ado, we'd like to give the stage to Dr. Kiran Bedi, who will perform, who will give a performance on the various leadership talk that she has conducted. We'd like everyone to please settle down and listen to this conversation. Over to you, Kiran ma'am.
Want to introduce me? Why do you presume everybody knows me? No?
Yeah.
I need to be. It's a whole new generation. Parents, elders know me, I think.
Good evening. I take this opportunity to welcome you all, especially Dr. Kiran Bedi, and very well known person and doesn't need introduction. And ma'am, when you were 4 months old, XLRI started. We also celebrate.
That's the only introduction, isn't it?
So that is starting. Starting of the.
I didn't know that.
We are celebrating, you are also celebrating the Platinum Jubilee. Similarly, like we are also XLRI is celebrating Platinum Jubilee. And you know, ma'am was the first IPS officer to reach that rank. And you just look at Wikipedia is full of her achievements. Like.
What do you know?
I distinctly remember I was a student. I was following Charles Sopraj. I think the serial killer, you might have read about him. Ma'am was under his custody. And, and ma'am really had a conversation, and really, at least in his interview, he says he really transformed and understood the value of life in a broader picture. And that is just one example. Numerous reforms was brought by ma'am to the administration of the Tihar jail, and ma'am was the first woman appointed as a police.
It's being tested on his general knowledge.
And in United Nations, peacekeeping, and she not once, number of times, number of years, I think nearly 7 years you served there.
You're not losing marks.
I know 3 posts.
I'm just joking. Please relax.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah, right. So I can definitely in the HRM batch, ma'am, HR Human Resource Management, we have 180 students, and 56% are female students.
Yeah, I see that.
For the first time, it's like when I was a student, 94, 96, there were only 7 girls out of 60. But number increased. Now we have reached more than 50%. But BM, we are still lacking. BM is business management. We are just having only 26%. Maybe coming year we will pay more attention, because just like you always advocate the equality and treating everyone equally and bringing up and working for, and you are a great role model for women in this country. And ma'am was a tennis player, also won championship. I am right?
That's passing.
Okay.
That's getting your marks.
So it's a great honor. Ma'am is not first time coming to XLRI. It's a third time. Third time she is coming. We are really grateful that you are taking time and traveling so long distance to come and address our students and our faculties, and everyone is inspired. Just 5 o'clock we had another symposium. There the students' number was very few, whereas here the students are standing like. It's because of you, it's not anything else. So thank you very much.
Thank you for putting on the spot. Thank you for putting, but you passed.
So we'll be starting with the talk show now. We'll be putting the podiums up, and I request Father Sir to kindly take his seat. Thank you, sir. Hello. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. So I also get the honor to have a little personal introduction for ma'am that I have been preparing since I think I was a 13-year-old girl. It goes along. Growing up, my wall was adorned with pictures of inspirational women. And among them, Dr. Kiran Bedi's picture held a special place. To say that the 13-year-old me is over the moon right now would be an understatement. I know ma'am from my GK books in 3rd grade to when my mom said that this is the woman you need to emulate when you grow up. So ma'am, it is an honor to have been standing here to have host you to the oldest B school of the country. The privilege is all ours. Wow. And we welcome you. Ma'am's role as an IPS officer, Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, and a community leader has consistently set the bar high for all of us. She is a woman who has broken barriers and brazen new trails for all of us. So, what goes behind the story? The answer lies in the inspirational journey of ma'am. And with that, we will start the questions that all of us had. We were bombarded with questions when everybody knew that ma'am is coming to the campus. And to start with that, ma'am, I'm pretty sure that this is a question you've been asked often, and we'll still ask this one more time. What motivated you to take on this journey towards civil services, especially when there was nobody there who had held this path? Was it an inspiration? Did it deter you, or was it a motivation in itself?
Let me begin by saying how grateful I am. I have traveled the long distance for a reason, to see the bright faces, and they're really bright. I didn't know 50%, such a great percentage is going to be young women, but I'm prouder of that. That's the future of India. Inclusive society, equal society, where both men and women work together and give their best to the country. So I'm so very happy. And I've also been very beautifully briefed as I was driven down of your marketing fair. It's one of the most unique ones in this country. Give me the names of those two who picked me up. Amod and Malika. Where are the Amod and Malika? Thank you, Amod and Malika. They briefed me so well about your fair, and it's fantastic ideas. I think I'm going to spread these ideas, Father George. I'm going to spread these ideas. Other MBAs, under management schools also need to do these kind of marketing fairs. Why have you not let the message spread? Copied on. Oh, they're doing it.
Many IIMs have copied us and they do.
That's pretty good. Very nice. So that's good news for me. I'm very happy to hear that. But I'll check it out next time when I go to one of them. Is it at this big scale?
Yes.
Which one?
Scale is almost equivalent.
Which one?
IIM Lucknow does it, IIM Ahmedabad does it, MDI Gurgaon does it. Almost every B school has copied us.
That's good. Copied. Ah, that's it. They copied you. So you must be feeling proud that you were the pioneers.
We are very proud of our MAXi fair because we're the oldest one in terms of who conceptualized the idea and started this, and the scale at which we do,
Yeah.
and the scale at which the Jamshedpur city owns the fair.
That's true.
So the amount of love between the Jamshedpur population and the MAXi fair from being conducted by XLRI is profound. It's very, very.
So it's really original because I think it takes away, it is beneficial to the sponsors and it gets a cost-free survey. It's a cost-free survey. I think it's a great marketing skill. I probably might adopt this idea, by the way, in my NGO. When I do an NGO mela, I might also test these kinds of things. It's applicable anywhere. And to large NGOs, it's marketing. It's marketing a service. One is service, marketing a product. The other is marketing a service or identifying a need. So I think it's a great way of doing it, where you make the footfalls. Footfalls register themselves and then do a data and then do a data analysis. I think it's a great idea. Thank you. I'm going to copy you. All right. Your first question was, why did I get into the service?
Yes.
Well, there's nothing else available at that time. To be honest, is not that nothing else was available, but it was a clear choice. Because I had only one choice. Is I to either be a householder as a woman or lead the country one day in my own way. Politics was not at all ever crossing my mind. Electoral politics was Greek and Latin for me at that time. And medical college was out of the way for me because I was a sports girl and not in science classes. Engineering was out of my head because mathematics was not in my head. So householder was a no-no. But seeing what's happening in my country as a young girl in a tier 2 city, I refused to be one of the crowd. So I think that's where it made a difference. And we were 4 girls being brought up in a home, in a very visionary home. Parents were very, very visionary, ahead of their time. And they had clearly said, make a choice. They didn't show me, but I saw things that if I go the ordinary way, what an ordinary life it would be. It would be one of drudgery. And I hated it. So, but I was bright enough in liberal arts. I was very fond of political science and English honors. Those were my subjects, constitutional law. So I think that is what helped me get into political public administration, because as I read liberal arts actually drew me, particularly even my university, Punjab University, Chandigarh, which prepared me for this. So I think it was natural to not just serve the country, which is a cliche, but to be one in this, a part of history of India, to lead it in its own way by merit, not by parochialism or cronyism, but by merit. So I prepared myself to compete, and I got it. But I didn't know at that time. At that time, I did not know I was making it the first one in the Indian Police Service. I didn't know there were no women. I also was not so good in my general knowledge, Father George. but when I only qualified and I went to Missouri Academy, and lo and behold, I'm being invited by the Home Minister to say, are you sure you want to be in the Indian Police Service? I said, but why not? He said, you the first one. How will you do this? I said, I shall do it, the first one. So I think that's what happened. I didn't know till I entered the Missouri Academy.
Ma'am, you think it would have changed your decision if you would have known that I'd be the first one? Or if there was nobody else before me?
I'm so glad I didn't know. I probably would have been overexcited. But it's very good to have got to know this because I didn't do it to be the first.
Yeah.
It became the first. Yeah. Thanks.
Ma'am, you talked about your university experience. As B school students, we are always curious to know that where our ideals have been, where you were. How was your college life and your university journeys?
You know what? I want you to know that I identified very early in my life that I was the chosen one. Now, what do I mean by saying when I'm the chosen one? And I think all of you are the chosen ones in the same way as I felt. Why did I was the chosen one because I had the right kind of schooling. I had the best schooling in the city, to be honest. The best schooling in the city of Amritsar at that time when I was growing up. The Sacred Heart School of Amritsar. It was the most expensive but finest school at that time. It was a dream for any parent to be there, but not many could afford that school. Then went on to be the best government college for women in Amritsar. Then I went on to Punjab University, Chandigarh, one of the best universities of that time. The campus was, how many of you have seen Chandigarh? Punjab University, Chandigarh. Not many. You have. Not many. Not many, but I'm telling you, one of the finest campuses in the country. Because I see Delhi University, how crammed we are. Others, of course, who came up much later, got that space and the land to do. But Punjab University, Chandigarh is far ahead of its time because it came up with the development of the city. And the years I was studying in 68 to 70, it was at its finest best. Playgrounds, library, conference halls, law school, departments, faculty. So I was one of, so I had everything when I said I was the chosen one because I was getting the best. Not many do. Why I'm saying chosen? Because there are many others who can, but he can't make it. So I have realized from my early years that I am the chosen one. Now, you know, moment you realize, because there's a message for you in this, moment you realize, and if you realize it not now, till now, please realize it. You are the chosen ones. And the moment you realize the chosen ones, the way you probably had your images, you had inspiration on your walls. You were every day getting charged. This is what you want to be. Your mother said, this is what you could be. You see, you were the chosen one. Your mom was inspiring you. And you were self-inspiring through the wall message. Exactly what I used to do when I was doing my master's in political science. I used to have it on my wall. I shall top the university. And you did. And I did. So what I'm saying is that the chosen one means God is giving you more than millions others who haven't got. And it's not just what you're getting in education, in health. Health, you got energy, you got health, you got all your faculties in faculties in place. You got everything, the right thing. Parenting, finances, teaching staff, education qualifications, education institutions, and you as a healthy person. You are the chosen ones. And once you realize I had realized it. And that's when I valued every bit of it. And I used every inch of my Punjab University, Chandigarh, every inch. You might say, what do you mean by every inch? I cycled every inch. I biked the Punjab University every inch. I used to bike every time it would rain. Chandigarh would be green and fresh and nice. I would pick up a bike, have an apple in my pocket, and a raincoat on me, and I'd go biking. And there was a Madhya Marg there, it's still there. It's called the cycle track. It's getting crowded now. So I used to go on the Madhya Marg and bike. I loved it. But this is something just out of the way. It's not easy to get it all the time anyway. This is how I valued my university to the hilt. It's the same thing I did with college. Any activity, that's another message. on any activity which the college invited me for. Declamations, dramas, debates, not music. I didn't have the voice. Other than singing, other than dancing, other than singing and dancing, I wasn't good at. I was very good in others, athletics. So I think the quality which I had as a student was, without knowing how much dividend it will pay me, was how do I use what I'm being gifted with. So, and I was gifted with this kind of infrastructure, and I had the best of health. I built on it more and more, and I didn't let a single day go. That's how I valued my Punjab University, Chandigarh. How I valued my college, Government College for Women, Amritsar. This is how I valued my Sacred Heart School, Amritsar. This is how I valued my upbringing, to give it the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The last line you said was so inspirational when you talked about that you did not let a single day go by. Ma'am, as a leader who have led teams across India, across fields, how does that work? How do you keep that inspiration going? And on that note, ma'am, what is your leadership style? And how do you lead your teams when it comes to effective leadership? How do you view that?
Okay, Ria, you have 3 questions in one, huh?
So I'm getting a bit greedy.
No problem. Break it up into parts because all are valuable questions. Part 1. Part 1.
Part 1 was, how do you keep that motivation every day going?
That's a very valuable question, why I've asked her to repeat it. How do you keep the motivation going? You develop an attitude when you're young. That's the reason I've come here for you. I've come here to tell you, if you valued my coming today, you should know the secrets behind it. I've come here to share my lessons of life and my experience. What's made me now, when I'm entering the 75th year of my birthday, which is 9th of June coming this year, what has made me be on my own, have on my own, have the financial independence, have the professional positions, do what I wanted to do, change things the way I wanted, alter, take on issues, and then rode over them. Why? Because I developed these attitudes by cycling. What I meant is valuing what you are setting as attitudes. The attitudes were out of your comfort zone. Every day, this is my word for you, out of the comfort zone. I'm repeating it. I was out of my comfort zone. While my friends slept longer, I was out at 5 in the morning to go jogging for my tennis. And I was exercising, I was going into the library, working harder, but enjoying my life as well. Living a life of simplicity, authenticity. I think this was a growth. What did I know at that time I would be one day heading the Delhi police in many, many ways? No, I did not know. But the ground was getting prepared for not being the ordinary, not going the routine way, not being one of the crowd. But I was not saying I'll not be the crowd. No. It was being out of the crowd already because others were sleeping longer while I was out of the comfort zone. So every time I'm out of the comfort zone, it's a discomfort. But remember, it's a purposeful discomfort. There's a purpose behind. You think it's very comfortable traveling all this way here? It's a purposeful discomfort. And the purpose is to connect with you, to inspire you. Because now my life is all about giving. The more I give, the greater I love and enjoy. That's my return in my life is, more I inspire the next generation of India, the more I feel happier. So I've come here to actually seek my own happiness and also fulfill a sense of duty to tell you what works. So it's an attitude. I've come here to sow the seeds of these attitudes inside you, is being purposefully discomfort. Choose discomfort as a student life, as even as a work life. As a work life, what now you come to the leadership style, right? Leadership style was every day out of the comfort zone. Every day. I give you an example. As Lieutenant Governor Pondicherry, there was not a weekend. There was not a weekend when I was not out in the field to see where the problem is. As DCP traffic, there was not a day as DCP traffic where I did not look for where the problem is. As crime prevention, I did not lose a single day when I didn't visit a police station, talk to my constables to find out where can we do better. So it was every day out of comfort zone. And every evening, after the work was over, I would return home to to get up early in the morning so that I'm back on my feet to learn things for otherwise many of my colleagues were out for late dinners. They would have just fantastic late dinners, 5-star hotels. I don't think I had even a single one of them because that was not important to me at that time of my life. It's very important to have your sense of timing when your age is this. If your age is this, sense of timing is what is the priority at that age. If that age priority is, if this age is to study, to research, to learn, to acquire more skills, to have positivity, to have more knowledge skills, and to be constantly update, and to also make right friends, you're at the right time. But if you do it all wrong, you start correcting it much later in life, which is already late. If you do the right thing at the right time, you are ahead of your time. In my life, I became ahead of my time. Why? Because I was doing the right things at the right time, in the right way, in the right amount, in the right amount. So that is the message which I've actually come for. So leadership styles is all about you as a person. Every person is two things, remember. A person and a leader. A person and a professional. Person is who you are as you grow. You're already developing as persons. You have your likes, you have your dislikes, right? You have your preferences, you've got your priorities. But as you grow, you are a professional. But you think you don't take disciplined habit into your leadership? You don't take integrity to become a leader? You don't take your punctualities and team spirit into your leadership? That is leadership, which you've lived yourself as a youngster. Those qualities become your strengths as a leader, and you are becoming an authentic leader. Authentic leader, not an unauthentic leader, another name. I'm not using the word dishonest leader because that has many other meaning. You are a credible leader. People trust you. So what happens? You become trustworthy because even when you're not being watched, your reaction is predictable. People will know that this is the way you will perform as a leader. So whether you are in position A or B, because I have come here for the reason because you're going to be CEOs of tomorrow. You're going to be executives of tomorrow. You're going to be in the middle or the top level as you grow of tomorrow. So if you get these things right now, you will benefit, the country will benefit, and the humanity will benefit. Because I do not know who all will you lead in innovation, lead in entrepreneurship, lead in ideas, lead in creativity. I don't know. So leadership is not separated from the growth. It's growth and leadership. Growth takes you to become, leadership is one aspect. Leadership is not two. Leadership is the person in you. The person in the leader is the leader. So leadership styles, I'm going to show you quickly a presentation, the leadership styles, and ask you, have a look, where will you be as you grow? And third one was it okay?
Yes.
All right, great.
Ma'am, you talked about innovation and about taking risks and, every day having that. Ma'am, that actually, as a B school student, it brings me to that a lot of us want to take risk. A lot of us want to be entrepreneurs, have our own startups. And a thing that I've seen in common when I've talked to the startup enthusiast is bringing change at scale. Something that you did do in Delhi when with the traffic police and the signals. Just a fun fact for everybody. A lot of things that we see in Delhi's signal, which includes how the signal lights are and a lot of traffic rules and the technology, that was all initiated by ma'am and has been going on for decades now.
No.
Ma'am, but the traffic...
No.
was not?
Many people did it. I was one of them.
I thought my GK was also...
No problem. I only contributed to I only took forward whatever I took. And I left it at that because I had to go. I think every successor takes forward the predecessor's work. The good news is that my work, whatever I took forward, was taken forward and not left behind.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, just in that aspect itself, so how do you think that we as B school students can bring about this change through our startups or NGOs when we go at scale? That how do we innovate at scale? How do we solve problems at scale? Like you have done in different
I'm going to show you this presentation. This will answer your question in the presentation.
Okay.
As to, you are all having intelligence quotient right now. Your classes are giving you the IQ. Classes are giving intelligence quotient. You're giving And that's the subject I'm not at on. I'm not the lecturer for books and subjects and theories. I'm going to give you the practical aspect, which you have to cull out of your knowledge, of your books. You have to cull it out, and I'm going to show you a presentation. And that was your question.
Yes.
Your question was?
The question was about startups and how
the
do
start.
we innovate.
What is it that will be required for you to succeed and not be a bubble? How do you prevent yourself being a bubble? I'm going to show you that. Okay?
With that,
Good.
we can
So let's go
start
ahead,
with the
and I'm going to
presentation.
show you a presentation.
Yes.
And then that presentation, my friends, I want you to read it. Read it for yourself. I'll speak it, but I want you to see and read. Because if you see and read, you'll retain more. But if you only hear, you will retain only 13%. But if you see and read, you will retain much more. So therefore, I want you to retain it. But you've got to switch off the lights. This is a presentation I made for keeping you all in mind. So that is why I've written you and your times ahead. Okay, let me go behind. Hi, I'll take a corner. I'll sit. Yeah. Now look at this. This is what I've written for you. Now I'm good, I'm better standing. I'm used to standing only. I was punished a lot in my classroom. I was made to stand a lot. All right, friends, see the title for you I thought for is You and Your Times Ahead. You. That's why I want you to read and see. And your times ahead. Because this is all temporary. You are counting days. Some of you are about to leave, and some will leave another 2 years. It's all a marking time. So it's all time is flying. So be ready to go. But before you go, what is it that you must take along? Okay, next slide. Now I want you to read this. Please read. I'm not going to disturb you. Read. You did not choose your birthplace. Can you read, please? You did not choose, did you? So why were you chosen one then? You did not choose, yet you're the chosen one. You did not choose your parents. You did not even choose your name. The name has also been given to you by your parents. So your name, your birth name, you may want to change, your pet name has been given by later on you. But the question is, you did not choose your birthplace, your skin color. The question is, you did not choose. But, let's go to the next. You can choose. What can you choose? To be giving. This is what you can choose to be. What stops us? This is leadership. So, the first one, see, you could not choose. But what you could not choose, accept it. But what you can choose, why not? Why not we be kinder? Why can't we be giving? Why can't we be honest? Why can't we be grateful? Why can't we be respectful? Why can't we be optimistic? Why can't we be humble? Isn't it? Imagine if the youth of this country, today is Swami Vivekananda's birthday. If the youth of this country is kinder, is more giving, is more honest, is more grateful, is more respectful, is optimistic, is humble and more, how will it be? What kind of nation will it be? Or humanity? Or humanity. Why can't it be? These are the choices we can make, isn't it? These are leadership qualities when you make now. These are the ideas you have to keep in mind. And once you start practicing now, when you read, you're reading theories, you're reading concepts, you're reading projects. But are they making you kinder? Are they making you more giving? Are they making you honest? Are they making you more grateful? Are they making you more respectful or optimistic or humble? Are they? Because these are your own. These are your own things which you have to realize that while I'm working on my intelligence quotient, am I working? This is called also emotional quotient. But I'm going to take you towards another thing. Let's go to the next one. Now, these are your scattered emotions. All these are scattered, fully scattered. Now look at what happens. These are very scattered emotions, different ones. Kindness, generosity, somebody has generosity, somebody is kind, somebody is very giving, somebody is very humble. These are scattered. Let's come back to the next. What I'm looking for is emotional quotient to move towards EI. Can you guess what is EI? Exactly. Now we have to move towards this. And this is the real leadership for you ahead. That's what brings me to you. We all have these basic emotional quotient. We stop here. Is Goldman's, we say, these are emotional quotient of Goldman, David Goldman's. But what is EI? Now look at the EI, and that's what Ria, when she talked about startup, that's what I said, I'm going to show you something. Now let's look at the EI. What is emotional intelligence? Look at this. It's self-awareness. It's self-management. It's self-awareness, as again, sorry, said it. Relationship management. There's also conflict resolution in this. Conflict resolution, some small workshops are held. Self-awareness, self-management, unless you understand what these have a meaning, that means you as bright students need to research and study these self-help books on self-awareness, self-management. You are dealing management. I want you to study self-management. I want you to study social awareness. These were my strengths when I grew up. I did not go to a school or a management school. Something or the other, my father and my mother. My father was a great reader of all these Napoleon Hills, etc. He used to read a lot of these books, Dale Carnegie, etc. Those days, those books were very, very precious. And when he was a regular reader, my father used to teach me these. So, my school of management, XLRI, was home. My home was XLRI. Your home, your education is here, but where's your home? You got to go within you. Learn it. You be your own home for EI. So I want you to understand and go back to Wikipedias and Googles and study. There are a lot of ways to do. How can you be self-aware? How can you be socially aware? Really, next go. Now, okay. Now let's go back to the back slide. Go back. This is a task I would like to leave for you. If you go, once you going into senior management without this awareness, and only being kind and giving and all is not going to be effective. If you want to be effective leaders, you have to have emotional intelligence. Where was the difference for me as a woman? As a woman, normally said, oh, men and women women have more emotional quotient and men have more IQ. Therefore, we need diversity and we need inclusivity because women bring in emotional quotient. No, not only this. If the woman brings in also the EI, it's EQ and EI, she's an effective leader. Otherwise, she'll be taken for granted. As a woman, because I was self-aware and I was strong within, I became an effective leader. So to be effective leader, man or a woman. But women are born with certain inherent qualities of kindness because of biology. Women suffer pain. Women experience pain from the teenage times. Men don't because of biology. The menstrual period every month for a woman is making her suffer, but suffer in silence. And she takes on a challenge. She's a champion, she's playing, and she's got a period. She's playing, she can't say, I can't play. She learns to work and study with pain. Women by nature realize and live with pain and yet survive. So therefore, women have a natural and then when they become mothers and they reproduce, they're naturally kind. They are natural. This is biological gift because she is producing a new life, and these come with her genes. The more you study why is a woman this, because she's mothering. Now the child is a part of her, and therefore she's giving it all this. She's giving, and she's grateful about that. But she's totally taking care of the child and giving her life to the child. As I've said, when a child is born for a woman starts reliving her life through a child. You have exceptions like what's happened in Goa right now. That's a rarest of the rare exception, where a woman has killed her 4-year-old child. It's that a rarest of the rare. It's crazy how she could do it, smothering the child when he's only 4. But I don't understand that. That's a crazy. As I said, you have exceptions to the rule. So, friends, you got to be efficient as men or women. You have to be emotionally intelligent. And emotional intelligence calls for a lot of self-management. And in self-management, there are many, many parameters as you study. Go to Harvard Business Review articles, and you'll get an EI article, and they're all parameters of these articles. I will not take that class right now. But if you do this, it will take you through. So this is my important aspect of, now when you talk about startups, what happens in startups? They run out of patience. Startups, those who remain authentic, simple, humble, reasonable, living within means, go steady and slow, they climb up farther. But those who first you got the angel fund, and you quickly go for buying a Mercedes, and you first buy infrastructure of this kind, which is more of luxury, which you can probably substitute by something little lower cost. And what happens? You go bust over a period. Not that all do, but some do. And you have examples, and I'm not going to mention names. So startups, those startups remain going, those who go steady, slowly, with all these qualities of awareness, management, and relationship management. So friends, you need these qualities. But to be effective leaders, you need these to be practiced, which are not very much, which are not part of your book, which are not part of a theory, but you have to learn and cull it out of your reading yourself, and also learn from society and what's happening around you. Now I'm moving on to the next part, is your leadership models. Go ahead. These are the leadership models which I have experienced and I created. And these are part of some of the pages of my book. This is a book called It's Always Possible, which talks about a theory. Now you see this? You see the prisoners when I was Inspector General Prisons? This is what I saw. Prisoners all on one side, and there's a vulture which comes, and there's a dead body which picks up. Otherwise, everybody's separate. If you see this, there's no coordination, there's no collaboration. There's no unison. Everybody is independent. Society attacks, government attacks, police attacks, headquarters attacks, staff attacks, judiciary attacks, and finds fault with prisoners. Everybody is attacking. And there's a vulture culture. There was a vulture culture. A body, if there's a dead body, post-mortem happens, and the vulture comes and orders a departmental inquiry. Why did you not come earlier to make things better? Why didn't you come to see things better? So it's a vulture culture. This was the way it was. This is one leadership model. Now, you will be entering into certain companies which may have this kind of vulture culture, which means it's only reaction, not prevention, not planning, not sensitization, not care, not preventive, not preemptive, but it's reactive, only responding to something which has gone wrong, and then say, we've done it, and say, inquiry order ho gayi. Pehle kyun nahi theek kiya aapne? Pehle kyun nahi jaakar dekha? Pehle kyun nahi round lete? Pehle kyun nahi field work karte? So this is where you will be. You will be all managers and CEOs. So I want you to start walking your fields. When you enter the offices, walk your field, walk the town, so that you get to see and hear and talk and pick up ideas and learn from your workmen. So vulture culture is one form of governance. You have to avoid. Next one. You have to learn another model. That's another model. In policing, I saw this model. When I was serving, this was the model. And probably in some places it still exists, some places it changed. And that is changing. You see this? This is one model called the hierarchical model. And that's the consultative model. If you see the Prime Minister's policies right now, most of the secretaries are a part of a group called Gati Shakti. Are you hearing the word Gati Shakti? Are you hearing it? What is Gati Shakti? Is bringing together secretaries of critical projects of different departments, secretaries of different departments coming together and working on a project together by Gati Shakti, coming together. So rather than hierarchical, he broke hierarchies and brought these two. And that's why you see one project after the other, one project of infrastructure after the other, meeting the deadlines and covering it at a great speed without any scam. Why? Because you brought people together to think together, plan together, strategize together, and be accountable together, and then report together. So this is another leadership style you will encounter. I did encounter these, and that's what I corrected in my life, and it worked for me. But these are the styles. These are also part of my documentation. But I want you to keep these images in your mind, that as you go, you will be somewhere probably to begin with, probably here, or maybe here. But remember, you have people above and you have people below. So don't only look above, look below too. And look as one of them too. Be one of them as you go up. So as you go up, you will take them along. You will be like a ladder. You will be a ladder. You climb the ladder, but you'll also take others along with you. In your life, you will be a ladder. Understand? Understand? As you go up, you also take others along, but you keep going up. But when you go up, while you're looking up at your boss, you're also taking the juniors along with you. That's when you'll make great CEOs of your life. And that is where you will score over many, many others. Next. This my Pondicherry model, which I worked on, was being visible, as I told you, being accessible, being agile, being one with the common man, and being law-abiding and always ready to fight for injustice. These are other concepts which I practiced as Lieutenant Governor Pondicherry and gave me great dividends. It endeared me to people, and people got what they needed. It was like a mutual energy sharing for. So friends, this is what you're meant for. These are the other keywords. Keep in mind as you grow, and look for these keywords as you study leadership and management. Next. Now the last one. Is this sound in this? Yeah. These are your steps to success. This is what the startups require. You can't skip over. This was my last slide. Thank you, friends. This was why. We can have the lights on.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was an insightful session, and I'm sure we all learned a lot. From leadership to becoming a ladder, that really is inspiring, because as we go up, it is necessary to take others along. That is also something XLRI really believes in. Our motto is for the greater good, and that is something that we want to take ahead every step of the way. So thank you so much for that insight.
You are XLRI. That's why. That's what will make you stand out. And the moment you start doing this, you will say, oh, are you the so-and-so? Are you from there? So you'll be, actually your XLRI will precede you then. Or you take it along. At some stage, you'll keep changing places.
Yes, ma'am, that's the goal. Now we'll be opening up for questions. Anybody, students and faculty would, if they have any questions, ma'am would be here to answer.
Thank you for the inspiring words. So lots of young women are attending this talk, and I'm sure that they're also streaming this talk online. So, as a woman, when you started your career, you took roles which were traditionally not taken by women. So, like for our young women present over here and those who are watching you online currently, would you help us understand the challenges you faced as a woman when you take the roles which were traditionally taken by men? And what were your takeaways which you would share with us so that our girls, when they go and join the corporate world tomorrow, they also can actually have better career, more success over what they do?
There are many, many challenges. Let me recall a few. There are many challenges, but I think the biggest challenge was acceptability. Somewhere the woman may be the only one, and some maybe she will be the few. Very few will be, nursing is full majority, no problem. Teaching almost is now becoming almost women-led majority, no challenge, no problem. But in government services, even in the corporate world, some of them, maybe some individuals, let's say in finance or in key technology, there may be very few women, is acceptability. Now, do you spend time as a woman to do all that is becoming acceptable? Or do you carry on with your own confidence and start delivering? The challenge I faced was, do I seek and wait for approvals of acceptability? Or do I keep performing? And don't care whether you accept me or not. That's your problem, not mine. So first thing is acceptability, right? So my first message there for women is, don't wait for acceptability. Just start delivering. Have confidence in you and perform. However, keep learning, keep improving. Say thank you for what has been learned and be asking questions to learn more. But do not seek approvals for everything you do. Be confident. That means continue to sharpen your confidence skill. That's self-awareness, self-management. That's why I showed all those. These are falling into these categories. This is one. I think second was other responsibilities which come along with the woman. Which is, if you're married, you go home and you have home responsibilities as well. Men did not fulfill male home responsibilities till over a period. Now they started to become more flexible and started to share. But yet not it's fully. It's now partial, it's half-hearted. It's not fully hearted. It's half-hearted. Because it's a transition stage. I understand that. What does the woman do? Woman delegates. That woman delegates, pays for services, and lets people know this is all I can do and this is what I won't do. Why? Because she has to conserve her energy for her work. Her success of a woman, as much more for a man would be, now it's not your skill, it's your energy management. How do you spend your energy? And in energy, the body needs rest. Man or a woman equally. So is she looking after her body, resting herself? Or is she continuing to work 3 times over? Work, then home, then again through all the challenges, maybe geriatric care for the elders, and she's burning herself out. She must understand how much can she do, how much she must delegate or pay for, or as the department help, or support, family support help, or corporate help, etc. So second is the body management. Second is emotional management, which is energy sapping. If things are irritating her, but she's always sulking away, she is draining herself. As it is, so she must look after fitness. She must look after her emotional stability. Then comes her purpose. What is she purpose for? What is she working for? Is she working only to bring income home? It's going to be stressful. Or is she going to work for a sense fulfillment and also larger contribution? She'll enjoy her work. So her energy management is critical. What did I do? I faced this challenge. What did I do? I stayed fit. I found the time to stay fit. Because if I don't stay fit in my uniform, I'll bulge from all directions and everybody will I will start becoming conscious. I don't want to feel, I want to stay fit. So I spent time on fitness. Found the time for fitness. Second was emotional. If there was something irritating me, I knew how to handle it. I knew how to ignore it. I knew how to respond to it. I prepared myself for that emotional intelligence. Not emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Third, along with that, was time management. I managed support systems. Brought my family in. And come be with me. Let's be all home. Becoming an extended family. So that home is managed, and when I go, things are organized and it's shared household. Third is, I never lost sight of my purpose. Why am I policing? My policing is for a larger cause, not to bring income home, but for a larger contribution to society, to do justice what I wanted to grow up for. I love the fact of serving justice and sharing joy. So I never lost sight of the higher purpose, that was emotional quotient, intelligence. So the spirit in me, the body in me, and the emotions in me. These are the challenges. And if you don't know how to challenge this, the society will drain all the three. You have to be trained to handle these, men and women both, but women even more, because they still will be returning from work with additional expectations of responsibilities, and she has to see how her time is managed. So, you know, you have always a question, how did you balance life? I say, I don't balance. I manage my time by energy management. But what can I delegate, what can I pay for, and what I will not do, and what I will do. And I will not wait for acceptance. So, therefore, the goal must not be lost sight of. These are the challenges which society will keep throwing at you, but you will have to keep working, keeping the emotional management particularly. This is irritating you, mind management, personal management will come in, where you do, how do you. One of the key mind management is deep breathing. Whenever you're getting irritable, it's called deep burning. It's like deep breathing. Sit down, it's irritating me, deep breathe. Deep breathe for a few seconds, come back. Rather than blowing out and throwing out and angering and emotionally getting excited. So these are challenges so these are personal challenges, and these are social challenges, and these are departmental challenges. So therefore, you need the women particularly, emotional quotient and emotional intelligence have to be taught, practiced, workshopped, analyzed here probably in the management institutions. If you're doing it, you're preparing your students. If you're not doing it, pay more attention to it.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is that you talked about being a leader who is kind, giving, and honest, respectful. And on a daily basis, all of us on some level try to be a leader like that. But the thing I struggle with on a daily basis related to this is, how can I be a kind and giving leader in a world of vulture culture? I mean, when there is a lot of, say, if I'm working in corporate tomorrow or working in any competitive scenario where there is a lot of, politics going on, then what is the process of being kind and giving? Because this is a conflict that I face on a daily basis.
Understanding people. Understanding them, where they're coming from. Understand a politician. What is his need? Understand, his need is not going to change according to your need. But should your need change according to his need?
But sometimes, say, if I understand someone's need...
If you understand and if you can give him without compromising your need.
Okay.
So it's understanding people. How do you, in my life, a senior gives you an order which is not in consonance with your conscience. Try and understand, why is he giving you this order? Ask him more questions. Discuss with him and share your view with him, and then come to a decision you are accountable for. You are responsible for your own decisions. He cannot order you to take a decision which, according to your conscience, is not ethical. You cannot blame him for forcing you to take an unethical decision. So the choice is all yours. As I said, choices are yours. There's certain things which you have to accept, and certain things you have to make choices and be responsible. I don't have all situations there, but hundreds of situations you will come. You have to train yourself to listen, understand. Where is he coming from? Why is he saying this? And now go back to yourself to say, how do I deal with him? And that's your depth of reflection if you got habituated to mind management, which will help you. And what is mind management? Nothing but silence or to talk to yourself. Or you also have a friend. Or you also have a family. And you can discuss it out. There are 2-3 options I have. What do you think? But take a choice. So you can discuss and reflect and take a decision. So it's mind management, daily basis. I'm not sure whether what kind of mind management practices you're doing, but if you are practicing quietude, each one of you, quietude every day, even for a few minutes every day, is actually training yourself. How many of you do it? You do it? Wow. Wow. How many of you do mind management as quietude for yourself every day? Give yourself a few minutes every day of reflection. How many of you raise your hands? The seniors are doing it. Now that's not enough. You're not getting ready for conflict management. You're not getting ready for management of difficult people. And then you'll say, oh, XLRI, I've done so much of management courses. I topped the list, I got a gold medal. But you didn't get a gold medal for your inner self. Unless you practice mind management where you start reflecting yourself and do auto-talk. And you know, auto-talk is also going for a walk and talk to yourself. You become two persons yourself. In Purani movies, there was a conflict of boyfriends. What did that Meena Kumari do? She looked into the mirror and said, अगर मैं उसको ये बोलूँगी तो वो मुझे ये कहेगा. नहीं मैं अगर मैंने उसको बोला तो वो ये करेगा. She used to talk to the mirror. Mirror yourself. But friends, if you don't at this age, do not do. This is not spirituality. This is not meditation. It's time, silent time to yourself. At this age, if you start getting into the habit, you will prevent yourself from many blunders and mistakes. Otherwise, you will be only learning from your mistakes and regretting later on. But by the time will have lost. You've lost time. Don't lose time. The strength of my character, my life has been I've lost no time in these mistakes. Because I became conscious of the fact that I will bear the consequences of my mistakes. And wherever I did make a mistake, I bore the consequences. But I minimized my mistakes. And that's why I got better results. So always minimize. Now how do you minimize? A confident friend, a confident family member support, a confident counselor if you have. Otherwise, you are your own counselor. Just reflect and journal writing. Journaling is also a good idea. Just write. Probably nobody reads it. But write down pros and cons. If I do this, what are my thoughts coming? So self-reflection, self-audit, walking yourself, exercising. How many of you exercise every day? Now that's again 50%. Thank you. It's only 50%. So reflection is hardly 5% and exercise is 50%. If you can work it out, 10% exercise. Few yoga even on the bed. Even yoga on the bed is possible. So if some yogic exercises are actually mind-body coordination, and it's also time to yourself. So if you can do mind management and body fitness. Third, if I go beyond, right nutrition, right food, right time. Because again, as I said, emotional quotient intelligence means body, emotions, and your purpose. So if you don't look at these three things, is your nutrition, is your time management within mindfulness, you will be making mistakes and correcting later and regretting and then stressing and then finding a solution and correcting. It will get late, you'll run out of time. And that is much more, prevention is easier. Correcting a mistake is more expensive. So if you want to minimize mistakes, get into self-reflection on a daily basis. Find the time before you sleep or get up in the morning or find your time for self-reflection. But quietude is important. Where you ask yourself, how did the day go? What is it that you can learn from it? What is it that you can do better? What is it that you can do better tomorrow? Which direction are you going? Talk to yourself. Be your own friend. You're not alone. None of you are alone. You're two of you, one within you. If you listen to your own conscience, conscience will always guide you correctly. Learn to listen to your conscience. Conscience will give you ideas. Do you know many of my presentations actually come when I'm in mindfulness or I'm walking, and your presentation actually has come through my walk. So as I was walking, I started to think of you. So what is it that I can share with you? Ria and I had already had a discussion. But I said, no, I will go beyond my life lessons to share, give you some concept, because you are going to be leaders of tomorrow. You're going to be recruited as leaders, managers, and managers will become further CEOs later. How will you become better? By mindfulness. And don't be scared. This inner conscience will make you more courageous. Fitness, nutrition, and time to yourself will keep your life on track. And of course, a confidant if you have, you are blessed if you have a right confidant. But if you don't have a good confidant, or a confidant who might blackmail you if you share something with you, then you don't. That's for you to choose.
I've been waiting for this moment, Kiran, for almost 23 years now. 23 years to thank you. 23 years back, as an intern of the National Human Rights Commission, I was inside Tihar jail to visit the Tihar jail and find out the great work that you did. And thank you very much for coming here and being with us here, sharing your knowledge and your experience. You are the chosen one, truly the chosen one. You found Tihar, and then after you, others found Tihar. What you did to Tihar, and what others did to other jail systems, and you know that the jail systems, the jail reforms are the last on the agenda of any government. My question to you is, you found Tihar, and then others found Tihar. You did something. Is it a replicable model? All these years have passed, and now as you stand, after your great experience with other offices as well, where do you find? Is it a replicable model? Where have we walked up to? And is the agenda a finished one, or are we still midway? Thank you very much. And thank you very much for being here with us. I was looking for this opportunity for all these long years.
You've got to thank her.
I must thank them. I thank MAXi. These guys are doing an awesome job. But Kiran, I've been always looking for an opportunity to come face to face. Look, God gave me this opportunity to meet the chosen one after 23 years. Thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you for your work.
I cannot thank you enough for all that you said, Dr. Singh. Cannot thank you enough. Yes, Tihar chose me. You're right. Tihar chose me because Tihar prison was waiting for an Inspector General, and nobody would go and join. Whomever was appointed chickened out, went for a political pull, and said they managed something else. When the same transfer order came to me, I went. I knew I was going to the right place. The reason was, here were people in need. And I was a people person anyway. So, while policing was people person, that's what I wanted, and I was best at it because it's people. I was very good in Pondicherry because it's people. Wherever it's people, I'm very good at it. By the way, friends, you don't know, I started my career as a lecturer. I started my career as a lecturer in political science and then sat for the UPSC while lecturing. So I'm very fond of education, and I'm very fond of people. And students are people. I love education. That's what it brings me back. Coming back to Tihar, because I knew there were 10,000 people in need and who are orphaned. And the fact that they're orphaned, they come and look for the next victim the moment they come out. They take a revenge. Oh, you orphaned us in prison. You gave us dirty food. You gave us bad conditions. You abused us. You drugged us. You didn't treat us. We look for the next victim, and that's why they keep coming back. That's why the revolving door of the prison. I knew as a police officer that they were a revolving door. I knew I was going to the right place, that I'm going to stop this revolving door. I will find a way to do it. And what was the way to do it? Simple model. Dr. Singh, we have a model. We have a model. If any management school is willing to work with me, I'll give you the model. And do you know, it's a zero-sum model, no money cost, additional cost. You don't have to ask the government for more money for that model. Money will get generated from the prison itself for reform. because you can make the prisoners productive. You can make the prisoners work, and you can make the prisoners skilled, and the prisoners contribute to a welfare fund, educate their own families, and even pay the taxes. And even pay revenue pay for their own food to the government. This is a revenue model which can be done in India, anywhere in the world. This model was done. Unfortunately, this has not been studied at a case study. Our management schools, Father, have not taken up this as a case study. These are the studies Indian made, not Harvard made. Had it been in Harvard, friends, had it been in Harvard, it would have been internationally recognized, but it is by a short Indian in Tihar jail and a woman. That's it. But it's written already in the book called I wrote it for because it was my duty to write. Otherwise, because I knew it will never happen again. Because it was done with the missionary zeal. What was the missionary zeal? Everybody went to school inside the prison. Everybody. 10,000 people. Can you imagine? How many do you have here, students? Okay, I had 10,000 students. 10,000 prisoners were my students, Father. And they all went to school. What school did they go? I categorized them into illiterate, literate, semi-literate, high literates, needing skill, language, etc., foreigners. I categorized them. Now I've categorized them, what do? I didn't categorize them by crimes. I categorized them by literacy levels. Then what did I do? I went back to the schools outside Delhi, inside Delhi, said, donate me used school books. You don't need when your children go to the next class. Donate me old school books. Don't sell it to Radiwala. Send it to me. I'm the Radiwala. Send it to me. Truckloads of books came to me. And I opened godowns of primary school books, middle school books, higher school books, English language books, and literature books, etc. Opening libraries inside the prison. But then I gave those donated books to these prisoners. Right? And this flow, and the copy books and the pencils all came in the bags. They came with bags, school bags. So bags were donated to the primary, to the, every day, 9 till 11, prisoners sat in a school inside the prison. 10,000 prisoners sat without any riots, any disorder. In classrooms, where did the teachers come from? There was no budget. Prisoners became teachers. It's like your elders teaching the youngsters. I made the educated prisoners teach the less educated. They were there. So they were lawyers, all professions were, it's a society. So I made a panchayat of teachers, a coalition of teachers, trained them, briefed them, prepared them, and took them to make them to take classes. 9 till 11 a.m., it's a case study. 9 a.m. till 11 a.m., the entire prison was a school. Where were the classrooms? Somebody's under a tree, somebody's inside a barrack. They're all there, out there, all classes. And where's the headmaster? I'm the headmaster. Every day I would walk my prison and watch the classes going on. And they were all 9 till 11. Why 9 and 11? Because 9 to 11, because 12 o'clock is their lunch time. And before that is their court time. So let the people who have to go to the court dates go. 9 to 11, those who don't have the courts sit in the class. And they have teachers had their attendance sheets. And I used to see their attendance sheets. It was written P, I would check, present, P, and one was said B. I said, what is B? Bimar. So even Bimar was mentioned. And then I said, अच्छा बीमार कहाँ है वो बैरक में? Madam, वो बैरक में 6 number बैरक में सो रहा है. I would go to the soul number. Hey, सो रहा है क्यों उठा? उठ. मैडम मुझे बहुत बुखार है. डॉक्टर आया नहीं है. तो अब पता करूं डॉक्टर क्यों नहीं आया? सी और जेन्युइनली बीमार है कि चोरी का बीमार? उनको पता था ये तो हेडमास्टर आ जाएगा क्लास में पता करने के कहाँ गया बच्चा स्टूडेंट. मेरे लिए स्टूडेंट्स है. So 9 to 11, Dr. Singh, it was a school. And what books did they read? They got the books. And they got all the comic books. The publishers donated. Everybody donated. I collected, as I said, zero sum. Did not pay for teachers. Did not pay for books. Did not pay for stationery. And did not pay for infrastructure. They sat as a culture, Indian culture, where you sit under a tree or you sit anywhere and study. And then They would count. So evening was festival time, spiritual time, discourses time, reflection time, ethical therapy time. Many of them were asked to do ethical therapy, means quietly sit, ask yourself, what did you do? Did you do right or wrong? मुझे नहीं बताओ तुमने क्या गलतियां की, तुमने मर्डर किया, तुमने चोरी की, तुमने की कि नहीं की, मुझे नहीं बताओ, अपने आप से पूछो. So they would sit quietly for 10-15 minutes. They started asking themselves, मैंने किया या नहीं किया. So don't tell anybody. Many of them after the ethical therapy started to want to tell the lawyers, take us to the court. क्यों? मैंने कहना है मैंने गलती की. Because the conscience started to speak. So friends, this is how the prison was. Now comes, how can they pay? Prisons, the model. How can they pay for? The prisons have barracks and places where they can set up industry as joint sectors. They can set up industries of things which can, they have water, electricity, manpower, skilled, etc. So they can put up cottage industries inside, and those products can come, and prison can give the manpower, and they can then work as prison industry, and the owner can give them wages, and some of the wages can go back to their families to educate the children, and some of the wages can be kept as their security. If you want, they can pay something to the government for school if they want to. They can earn. That means you are encashing their time. Where is the money again? There's no revenue. There's no budget asked from the government. Why can't we do this? You have manpower. You have 12,000 in Tihar. You have 12 to 13,000 men and women inside the prison. 24 hours of the day. Millions of hours are going down the drain. Why can't we capitalize on this time? By skilling them, educating them. And then when they go out on bail, let them go with the skill. At least they're not going unskilled. Many of my prisoners would go with a bag outside. And many of my warders said, ma'am, वो bag लेके जा रहा है, bag लेके जा रहा है. ऐसे बड़ा अच्छा है, ले जाने दो. क्यों? क्योंकि जाके बताएगा तो सही, मैं पढ़ के आया हूँ. Many prisoners wanted to take. It's a model, and it's written in the book. It's always possible. But not a single management school thought of worthy of reading it. Friends, we have models. Do you know? Even your Prosperous Puducherry, where's the book? That book is a model. It's a model in governance. I've written it all. Even this is a model in governance. How can a governor can lead itself to a clean Puducherry, green Puducherry, water-rich Puducherry? It's all written. It's a model. This is a model in governance. I'm not here to promote my books, etc. All I'm saying, since you asked a question, it's a zero sum. And Indian culture based. Why? Because Indian prisons are not violent. I've seen American prisons and British prisons. Scary to go to American prisons. Very scary. Very, very scary. But you can walk Indian prisons and not get scared. It's Indian culture. Why? Because Indian culture is not weapon based. We do not give weapons to people. It's non-weaponized community. Even to get a weapon license or a revolver, you have to go up to the Prime Minister's office. You won't get it. Weapon giving. So we are culture based. And this culture can certainly cover entire Asia. It can even cover certain parts of Africa. It can even cover Japan up to this. This is a model which can be followed as an Asian model. Because Asian culture is almost similar. Spiritual in many ways. Community based. So I evolved a model, and I called the model called the 3C model. Collective, corrective, community based. It's collective because of panchayats and prisoners working together. Corrective because that was the objective. Collective, corrective, community based. Because I brought lots of NGOs from outside to come and serve inside the prison. Many good teachers came to serve. Festivals were celebrated. It was very, very festival. Christmas hai to mana rahe hain. Hindu festival hai, Gurpurab hai, Eid hai, every festival was celebrated by community coming from outside with all the goodies. And everybody had enough to eat. So Tihar did call me. It's a fact. And I was at that stage when I was moved out, was to bring in corporate MOUs to work together for economic development. by the time I left. But good things happened was that Indira Gandhi National Open University and National Open Schools opened shop there and offices, and they all started to learn management, BBAs and computers, etc. That they did. There was a gentleman called Dr. Pillai from Kerala. He opened the IGNOU branch while I was there. So we had such certain developments which are continuing. We opened meditation centers inside the prison, which opened up. So a lot of things happened at no cost to the government. So tell me, should we not look at a model which has costed the government nothing, but has only been community-based, collective and corrective? How did it happen? How could such a system happen? It was one woman army. One woman army, how? One woman army where she or he, whoever it is, walked the prison daily. That's why I'm telling you, walk the prison. But it was 1 plus 5. Which were 5? 1 plus my 4 wonderful superintendents and another deputy. We were a team of 1 plus 5. It's written in the book, the roles they played. So it was a team. So 1 plus 5 can change the situation of 10,000 prisoners. Not a riot. Nobody died. Drugs went away. It became a no smoking zone. No smoking is allowed inside the prison. Go to certain Western prisons. You cannot enter the prison. It smokes. You are breathing. You are negative. You are doing passive smoking. We have a model. Provided it is studied. It's presented as a pride of Indian model, but it's buried. It's lying there. Maybe after I'm gone, somebody may unearth it and find out. What's the point? Please talk about it while I'm still around to clarify for you. Yeah, answer your questions. So case study is this. So is this. How people can be served with the transparent government. Did we create a grievance redressal system where every complaint received in the governor's office was addressed, documented, and resolved? Where is this government system where any complaint you give to the government is resolved? It was here. These can be documented before memory fades. So I think what I was telling my friends here who were driving down with me, that you know what? If every management school picks up a good Indian story, even one story a year, look at the number of case studies we'll have. And those case studies need not be limited to that. It could be a repository of case studies. You borrow and take each other's case studies and leave. If every management, how many management schools we have? How many? 3,500. So you can have 3,000, at least 3,000 case studies choose. You will be a reservoir, repository of case studies as a central pool where you put in your case studies. And these case studies, again, don't need money. You give it as projects to students of the same city. I believe you have a Judger institution. Judger institution can be told to study what happened in prisons in 93 to 95. This was a 2-year study. You can send people to Pondicherry, those of them in Tamil. Go and study Pondicherry. It's fresh in people's memory as case studies. These are pride of the country. And I'm not the only one. There'll be many others of my colleagues who must have done similar good work in various other states. Why not pick them up? And they will become great knowledge of good practices to be replicated in management, governance, leadership. So I think we are losing time and we are not representing. We are studying case studies from the foreign countries which are not applicable many times culturally. We have to be culture specific. So do this. If you try this, I think not only will be your marketing, this XLRI marketing mela, you can have this also as an initiation started. As pick up case studies, and pick up, and it comes in the news. Somebody is doing very well. Go and research. If it's genuine, do the study. If it's not genuine, drop it. But it's worth doing it. And thank you so much for this question. So grateful to you that, I'm so grateful to you. So sometimes, remember, make the most of what you get. I think the real message in this, sometimes by destiny, certain things come to you. By destiny. By destiny, just look at, this is what I followed in my life. Sometimes, certain things just come in. And I ask myself, why has it come? Okay, then I look for the purpose in that. The purpose is the why. Why is am I here? Moment you start saying, why am I here? Then the what and the how starts falling in place. The why is the key to the opening of the door. The tihar was the why. Why am I here? I'm here to transform them and make them better human beings. And all that goes with it then went on, as I explained to you in detail, thanks to his question. Otherwise, I may not have even given you this information. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, ma'am. This is Ashwini Andare. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing us with your presence here and inspiring us through your speech and incredible stories. As just now you talked about the purpose. So I have one question for you. As a students and also as we are youth, we are growing ahead and we are understanding that we are growing from unknown to known zones. We are getting to know a lot of things. We are getting a lot of experiences in life, and sometimes it can become overwhelming. It can be distracting experiences as well, where we are ahead and focused on our purpose, but we can get distracted sometimes. So how someone can remain focused as you were while doing the all work which you have done? That's my question. Thank you so much.
Very simple. Ask yourself in your silent hour, what's distracting you? And your conscience will tell me, oh, I spent longer than required on watching only the reels. Or I spent so much time more and interrupting myself watching reading the emails. Or I was studying, but I kept keeping my notifications on and I kept getting distracted to see the notification. Ask yourself. That solutions lie with you then. You alone know what's distracting you. You say distraction. Right. Then only you know. I cannot know what's distracting you. Yeah. So just pick up a piece of paper, analyze your day. How did you spend your day? Right. Oh, I spent 40 minutes here. Another in between 40 minutes, I spent 10 minutes there. And I got distracted. Then I did this and I got distracted. If you had a plan of the day and then you could not fulfill it because of distractions, write down which of those distractions. Now you need to attend to the email, fine. You want to watch, respond to the WhatsApp, put aside the time. Saying, okay, I will do my emails from now 4 to 5. Till then, I'm putting it aside. I will answer my WhatsApps between that 15 minutes, put it aside. That calls for personal discipline. So you alone know your distractions to keep your focus. And you start dealing with your distractions day by day, day by day. A time will come when this will not distract you. You will stay your focus, and then you'll reward. You'll say, oh, I got it. I did my part. In fact, many researchers are people, they plan their priority for the morning before they sleep. And the first thing they do was, before they start getting distracted, they think first. And that's how they say, my major work is done. And then they plan to go. So, this is tired, I think. is to identify your distractions and deal with them. It's again coming back to your own observation, your own analysis, your own audit, or your own reflection, all your me time, reflective time, quiet time, mindfulness. You see, it's coming back to the mind. So it's your own self-discipline.
Ma'am, with that, ma'am, can we take one more question? Hello.
Who are you? Where are you?
Hi, ma'am. Here.
Hey, hi.
Yeah. So I was just saying that we have had a lot of questions and great, amazing, insightful answers. So we can end with the questions, or we can take one more according to your. No, it's.
I'm with you. I'm leaving tomorrow. Go ahead.
Sure. So, we have time for one last question. I think Giri sir was asking before as well. So.
I have 2 mics now. Whichever is working. Both seem to be working.
Good evening, ma'am. Really inspiring speech, and really fortunate that I could sit through this session. you are here and all of us have witnessing the way you're living a very purposeful life. And but in the business schools, very often the models of success that are shared are very different, right? Even when you go and have a distinguished alumnus getting rewarded, quite often they are vice presidents or businessmen, right? So very clearly there is one model of success or one path that is very often shared, discussed and celebrated. And here you are who's clearly taken some very different strides. So can you share with the students and us some of the other ways in which you would possibly discuss or define success and some pathways which happens when you are living a very purposeful life like how you are doing?
It's very simple to very easy to say, can we work on this book? This book. It's stepwise. Stepwise. Can I get a copy of this book? Yeah. In fact, I would love to gift you all one. I've just brought about 10 of these. This is summary of the book, right? And I would love to, when I go back home, I'll be very happy to send you. Each one is a chapter of the book. Each one is a chapter of the book. See, it's like an illustration. Just stand here for a while. Each one is a chapter of the book. See, every chapter has an analysis right below. And below is a leadership lesson. And in that leadership lesson is the lessons for you. And all these CEOs are all practicing these, I can tell you that. They may use another jargon. Like for instance, let's say, I'm looking at early learning. Now we talked about early learning. What you are at this stage is early learning. In this early learning, I've written, good leadership is all about preparing early, setting a goal to be achieved, sharing your mission and vision with the team, inspiring them to join you on your journey. Now, these are leadership lessons which I would love to see that, first of all, every student of these. Father, if you accept my gift, I'll send you now 200 books of these tomorrow. I'll go back office and send you these. And will you see that every student gets it? Okay. Now, I will. Okay. I believe the soft copy has been shared. Soft copy of the book has been shared, but if it hasn't been, can be shared. Look, they've gone into technical, professional skills. It's team building, it's trust building, it's strategizing, it's budgeting, it's entrepreneurship, it's innovation. There's so many little things which have come in. But there's not one. It's finally the person. How does he share? How does he recognize? How does he build a team? How does he become part of the center of that leadership? Basically, model यही है. The leader जो center में होएगा, वो सबको बराबर में करेगा, वो egoist नहीं बढ़ेगा, humility नहीं बढ़ेगा. After that, whatever product you want to give, you are making your gains, you are sharing. But if you're walking away as a hierarchical model, it doesn't work anymore. You see, COVID taught us one thing. Hierarchical models no more work. It's empathetic models which work, where you have kindness with you, you have consideration with you, but you got entrepreneurship with you, and you got innovation with you, you got creativity with you, and you had a handling also VUCA, which is volatility, etc. How do you remain agile? Now, how of the agility will be company specific. Basic qualities are the same. Human qualities remain the same. It's the way you've applied technically to each situation. If you are in a small composite group, you are more visible. But if you are all over the world, how do you stay visible? You do regularly online conferences and you stay together. And when you travel together, you eat together, you take care, you do one-on-ones. In the one-on-ones, you talk to each other and don't talk work, you talk family. So basically, elements are the same. The language is different. But where you got humankind within you, you will be successful because professionally you'll be skilled to do these technical or let's say very highly professionally management skills which are required. Strategy is different. Financial management is different. Today, big data is managed different. Artificial intelligence usage is different. But it's basically the human being who's applying his mind and heart to it. So I think that's the main, as I said, I was hearing a sadhu, very interesting. He said the hand and when the hand and the mind work together, it's a skill. But when the hand and the mind and the heart becomes together, it's an art. That's what a very interesting saint said, that it's when the hand, the head and the heart, it becomes art. But if it's only the hand and the head, it's the skill. So how do you use the skill? How do you upgrade a skill? What kind of incentives do you give? There are many, many theories every day. I'm a regular reader of the Harvard Review, if you ask me honestly. I have a whole passage of books of Harvard because I love leadership and I love management. I'm telling you, one after the other is only said differently. But basically, the humankind is the same. If he's he's got humility, and he's got a large heart, and he's got energy management. There was one person who, in that energy management article, when I read, he said that last lap of his home, how does he do energy management? He says, before he enters the home, because he studied himself, and he realized that he was not paying enough time to his family. So he said, what did he do? He found a way out. He said, till the last moment I've driven and I entered the door, I finished all my calls. He said, then I switch off the phone. And I'm only with my family for the next 3 hours. That's how. And he says, I found my happiness back. Now what is this? It's so simple. But this is something which the latest review article is talking about, how he managed his energy management. So what I'm saying is, it's balancing. It's basically back to reflection, that what is irritating me? What is it that I'm missing out? What is it that I can do better? It's constant evaluation which gives you these solutions.
Thank you everyone for your questions, and of course thank you so much, ma'am, for the greatly insightful and such answer in such details, right? Around 5 to 6 months back, we as MAXi team wanted to build the biggest MAXi fair ever, because it was 75th year of XLRI. And what we had in mind was to inaugurate the MAXi fair in a way which has never been done before, with someone who could share their experiences. And it's almost a dream come true for all of us to have you, such a visionary, such an idol for all of us. I was telling ma'am that when she came, that my mom would love a picture with her. I got a picture with her, I sent to my mom. You are an idol, ma'am, to everybody, and that's not, you just said for...
I know you're going to say all this. Now can I sit there and get a photograph with you?
Yes, yes ma'am. So what
I don't want to hear all that, what you're saying.
So ma'am, if you won't want to hear...
In fact, I do want to ask you.
Yeah.
What are your takeaways? Can you give me a little feedback? Can we spend 10 minutes on the feedback? What are your takeaways? Have I made sense to you? What are your takeaways? For me, this is food. If you give me understanding, have I served the food rightly? Was the food tasty? और नमक ज़्यादा था, उसमें मिर्च नहीं थी, या उसमें नमक ठीक नहीं था. Can you give me a feedback? What is your takeaway? What is that one thing will bring in a change inside you, and it will probably, a seed has been sown. Go ahead. Loud. Up, stand and speak. Biggest takeaway.
The biggest takeaway for me was
because
I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, and I've run my own business before coming here for 2 years. So the biggest takeaway for me was to be out of the comfort zone, going for purposeful discomfort, standing out of the crowd with your actions, and having a sense of timing, knowing what is the right time, the right way, the right amount, and knowing who are the right people to be with.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's see, who else? It's a revision. It's almost a revision. Any other? See, I'm a teacher at heart. Take the mic, because others want to hear you. So what's your takeaway, young man?
Ma'am, the quietude part you said.
Huh?
quietude. you said.
Quietude.
Yeah, so
Quieter time.
Yeah, the self-awareness and quietude. So, you know, I spend a lot of time exercising and running and this one, but quietude is something that I have not yet embraced, but I think with you.
So your takeaway is that you will give yourself, some quiet time.
The purposeful discomfort, you know, these
Wow.
jargons, yeah, I'm going to use those.
Lovely.
Yeah,
thank you.
ma'am.
Any other? Take the mic.
So, ma'am, my takeaway would be as a human being, we have emotional quotient within us. So, transforming our emotional quotient to emotional intelligence is the biggest thing that we need to cultivate in ourselves, and that would lead to be as a better person as a human being, or be it a better leader as in any of the organization.
Correct. And that particularly women.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I'm so glad this point is driven. Yeah. Any other? Thank you for inspiring me to take a feedback instead. नहीं तो तुम मेरी बातें ही बोलता रहता.
I think what you said right at the beginning, that you didn't take up civil services to become the first woman there, but you did it and then became the first one there, is what struck a chord. So I think my takeaway is that the intention to do something is much more important than thinking about the outcome or where will that take you.
Fantastic. Super. Good. So it's all been, sir, it's always been your management class. Super, I'm so happy. Okay, go ahead.
My takeaway would be to understand that I am the chosen one and then build upon.
Wow, you're the chosen one. Good. That every one of you must take away. All of you sitting here, whatever age group you are, like me, we are the chosen ones. That's why we're here. Lord chose us to be here. God chose us to be here. Nature chose us to be here. Divinity chose us to be here. That's how we're here. We're not by accident. We have been chosen. Next. Any other? Thank you. All different feedbacks. Either say.
I think my key takeaway was don't wait for acceptance. Keep working and keep delivering.
Yes. Don't wait for approvals and acceptance. If your conscience is right, be confident and go ahead. And you can make a mistake. Go ahead and correct it. Say, I made an honest mistake, but I tried. But not that I was afraid even to try. Yeah? Next, somebody, you raised a hand. You raised a hand? No? By chance it raised? Nobody else from this side? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. My key takeaway was the experience that you shared about Tihar jail.
Oh.
And I was really inspired at how a place like a prison can transform into an educational place. And I would really like to read about that model and try to implement it.
Get that book. It's always possible. It's of Sterling Publishing.
Sure, ma'am.
It's available on Amazon. By chance it's out of print or something, I'll be happy to send it to you.
Sure.
Even a soft copy.
Thank you.
And it has the model in the end, all the 3C model, collective, corrective, community-based, where I've drawn a ship, where all of them are sailing together, from vulture culture to everybody becoming a ship, and at the head of the ship is the Director General of the prison, and everybody prisons are below, and the NGOs are there, and the teachers and all these activities. It's a ship sailing on the rough seas.
Thank you, ma'am. Would like to read about.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Mike, sir, your professor. Yes. If professor has a feedback, then I'm pass.
So my takeaway is from all this discussion I was hearing, how confident you are about what you have said. You should always be ready to take feedback. So that's what you are doing.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing. How wonderful you are, said it right. Feedback is a very vital part of leadership. So take it as it comes so that you can do it better next time and do more. Feedback is a part of administration leadership. Seek it. Seek it and ask questions as a leader. Seek feedback, ask questions, which I missed out on saying. You said it.
Ma'am.
Oh, your director's a feedback.
I teach leadership and ethics also.
Yes.
And what I was remembering, repeatedly you mentioned one point which Plato insists. Ethics is what is the right thing to do.
Yes.
And Plato's answer is, you know it.
Yes,
And
yes.
that was the only explanation given.
Perfect.
And so many examples you gave us.
Yes, yes. You know it. What is the right ethics is right thing to do, and you know it. And how do you know it? When you sit quietly and listen to your conscience. That's when you know it.
I think there is one more student.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am. I'm Yash. I'm from the MAXi team itself. Ma'am, right when you said that you would be coming for the inauguration, the entire team was buzzing, and I remember all of us being really, really excited that we would be having you. So thank you so much, ma'am, for coming to Jamshedpur.
Now, what's your feedback?
Yes, ma'am. Coming to the feedback, ma'am. A point that you mentioned that you need to understand the person before you come to a solution and understanding the context. I think that is something that I would personally want to implement. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, I'll tell you, I'll give you an instance of this from Pondicherry times. As its administrator, who were also called the Lieutenant Governor, as its administrator, I was very principally ensuring that the public money goes rightly to the public. Whereas there were certain practices in the past where money was handled from one head to the other in an unprincipled way to meet certain exigencies or certain populism. And it was acceded sometimes by the bureaucrats. So, but the financial final approval to change was only with the administrator, which was me at that time. The past was continue to juggle to meet certain needs of the people, needs of the voter needs. Whenever the file came to me, I did not approve it. I did not change. Why? Because the budget had been approved by the assembly. And if you want to change from one head to the other, you have to go back to the assembly because it's people's money. And bureaucratically, and politicians sitting in it cannot do it. Go back to the assembly and change the head. But they would not go to the assembly because there's opposition also sitting there, and there's another department from here the money is being taken and passed on to somebody else. He said, why is my money being taken to another department? I'm to spend. So when I declined it, there was quite an uproar. In fact, this book is full of those chapters which these uproars happened, one after the other. What happened? What happened? They tried to understand me that I'm going to be ethically, rule-wise, principally right. But I understood their need also. And their need was to somehow or the other oblige the voter of the set. Abhi Diwali aa rahi, ye lo, Pongal aa raha, ye le lo, Plana aa raha, ye le lo. So I said, Pongal aaya, Diwali aayi, wo to meri bhi Diwali hai, Pongal hai, it's all. But we can't do this. So while I told them, I understand you, but I'm not accepting you. I understand you, but I don't accept you. So I was not hostile or angry. My approach was, I understand your needs, but your needs are not meeting my needs, but my requirement is to do what is principally right. So there was always a conflict. Did I give in? No. Could I defend it? Yes. You have to defend it then. If you are changing the course, then you must know under what basis are you defending. Because then your decisions can be challenged. Sometimes they can be legally challenged. And sometimes they can be tribunally challenged. They can be legally challenged also. Mine did. Every time it went, it just passed the test of law because mine was based on law. Question is, you have to understand why is he doing it. Forgive and move on and don't sulk because otherwise you are wasting your energy. That's a wastage of energy if I sulk. ये कैसे लोग हैं मुझे तंग करते हैं और ये करते हैं और फिर public statement दे देते हैं कि LG obstructionist है. They would give the statement, she is obstructionist, she is not, and she's unpopular, and she's deliberately not giving people its mind. I would do a counter. I'm saying, no, I'm going by the budget, go back to the assembly, this is what the LG's office said. The question is, I did not give in, but I could defend it. And I could stand by it. And I didn't sulk, I moved on. Question is, if when you challenge and go against the tide, remember, you have to be thoroughly right and ethically right. Look at the rule, look at the law, look at the precedent, and then take a decision, courageous decision. It will score in the end. In the end, you will win. But question is, you will go through. But if you give in, then you are a doormat. If you give in for a wrong thing, which is principally you are hurting your own conscience and you are actually lowering your own confidence in your own minds that I gave in something to survive poorly. So I think this is important. These are decisions which you have to take in your own reflective time. So I've given you an example. This is what a lot of this book, Fearless Governance, that's why it's called Fearless Governance, because it was fearless in many decisions, which were concerning administration and the cabinet, the political cabinet at that time, which I did not face earlier in my policing, which I faced 5 years in Pondicherry. So it's 5 years of amazing case study which needs to be done on governance practices. And what is actually the political and administrative challenge for a governance, for public governance? And how do people respond? All these are very important ideas for management classes or leadership, as you mentioned. Thank you.
So ma'am, before we move on, my biggest takeaway, as you started with me, was when you said that you have to prioritize something depending on what stage in life you are. And when you are doing what is correct by the time, you are ahead of your times. So that was the biggest takeaway, and that really made me reflect on where are we right now in a B school and what lies ahead, and what is our priority and focusing on that. So that was my biggest takeaway, ma'am.
This is a wonderful takeaway. I would conclude by saying, keep your priorities right. What is urgent for you, don't mix with something which is not urgent. Stick to the urgent and what is important. Urgent is coming first. If you handle the urgent, then there will be nothing unimportant left. Urgent and very important. Don't go into not important and not required. Don't go to the bottom. Stick to the urgent. Deal with the urgent, then everything will be in right place. So your timing, sense of timing is very, very important. Your timing at the moment is not a minute to be lost, to learn and build your characters, build your personalities, build yourself as a person, not a day to be wasted, not a thought to be lost. And train your mind to be alert and send you a notification. Your mind should send you a notification, hey, this is not right, this is not fitting the time. So you should be able to now deal with that notification. Don't switch off your notifications. Keep your mental notifications on. And in mental notifications, when you reflect, stick to your priority. Priority is your student life right now. And your personal lives have to fit in very well. See that what you compromise and what you don't. If that's your priorities, how do you make it professionally sound? Build your professional skills well along with personal skills. If you don't do that and if you compromise, then you'll stay compromised. But if that's professional life is your priority, then whatever you will give more, you will get more. In whatever aspect you give more, you will get more. So now, when you're getting, see where did you give more. If you gave more to that, you will get more to this. So what is it that you want? Give more to that focus and balance the rest of your lives by energy management. But don't compromise on health, emotions, and your purpose. Thank you.
I would now like to call Dipanshi for a token of appreciation. Father George, if you could come here.
I want to sit there and have
Ma'am, you could come down.
Father, can I sit there and have a photograph?
Yes, ma'am. Would request the MAXi team to also come here for a photograph. Sure. Sure.
Why are you silent?
Thank you.
Everybody, if we could just wait a single second and thank you, and then we can all.
Dipanshi? Would request Director Father George to please provide ma'am with a token of appreciation. Ma'am, we have another special gift for you. We have a special painting made for you, and if you could have, yeah. Miss Suman has painted this picture of you, ma'am, and she would want to provide. Yes, she painted it. She's a local artist from Jamshedpur, ma'am, and we can open it, yeah. Would request everyone to stay seated till ma'am is escorted to.